Hey, what's up? It's Jose with another YouTube video. Happy New Year, happy holidays, all that good stuff. If you've been following along, you know this is my third teardown video, and I'm actually trying to get as much of the wiring off as possible, which include a lot of little things. You'll see me kind of tinker around and try to get the wiring harness off the frame and try to clear it all up so that all I have left is the engine and the frame. Being that it's a 1988 Sportster XLH 1200, I'm seeing a lot of things that I wasn't expecting. This bike is stamped with a manufactured location of the United States, but many of the individual components appear to have been made in Japan, so there's a mix of standard and metric nuts and bolts. Also, it appears that every little wire goes back directly into the headlight bucket. Luckily, I've been able to get away with my cheap $100 mechanics tool set from the Home Depot. In my previous video, I removed the airbox cleaner and got some of the bigger components out of the way, and this time around I'm getting to the carburetor, which really only appears to be held in by a little pressure and a hose clamp. The last few things here were to remove the throttle cables, undo the VOES, and fish through the enricher cable. This looks like it's the cable for the enricher, so I'll probably want to pull that actually out altogether. So let me figure that out. I'll put this back in here for now. This led me to the next part, which included the removal of the top motor mount and is pretty straightforward. It's a simple component that holds together the key switch, horn, and enricher knob, but most importantly, the engine. Alright, real quick, so I just undid the ignition wires, and it looks like there's these two that go into one. It's a white and a green, and then a solid kind of thicker green one and a red one. And then down below we got this yellow one. This one is for the horn, and then the wiring harness continues, and these were the ones that came off the coils. So this pink and this blue one were on the rear cylinder, and then these looks like white and white are for the one on the front cylinder, and so these all come together and it's all one harness here. The next set of wires are part of the brake switch, which are just located right below the battery box tray, and these are pretty simple to take off. It's pretty hard to see what's going on down there, but I'm making sure that I'm not just clipping wires for the sake of clipping them. I want to make sure that everything that I pull off I can undo and then redo if I need to, and so for right now I'm just making sure that I'm not messing something up. Alright, point of note, so on the frame there's these metal clips, and it's what's holding the wiring so that obviously it doesn't get lower than the frame itself. On the other side of this right hand side frame, in between, there's another metal one that's holding these wires down, so you actually have to push it back. Once you do that, it lets all these loose, and then you have to be able to kind of pull up and then out. I don't know how much you'll be able to see because obviously my hands are in the way there, but once you do that, then you free these wires that are connected, and then there is a connected plug down here, which I don't know if you can tell, but that one will then allow you to disconnect some wires. Last major task was to remove the hand controls from the handlebars, undo the wiring connections between the speedometer and tachometer, and whatever else I could find connected to the risers. Interesting part was the brake line here went from a hard line to a soft line, back to a hard and then soft. The headlight bucket, like I said, pretty much held on to every single cable, cord, connection on the bike. So you may be able to tell here, I disconnected all these thinking it'd be able to just pop out and pop through, but it's way more involved. A lot of wires that connect directly to the speedometer, which have the indicator lights, and then it stems back out towards the hand controls, which you might be able to see here. And then actually behind that, there are a bunch of ground wires that are connected to the triple trees, and then even more so with wires that are for the turn signal. So everything is kind of plugged into the back of this light. So I'm going to do my best to disconnect all the grounds here, and then from there try to, I don't know, figure out how to remove it from the light housing there. So let's see how that goes. Here we are. So if you can tell here, there's a clip in the back that actually holds a lot of those wires together. And then right here, if you can see, I've got the hand controls loose and through. And then this disconnects from there. Yeah, so some progress there. Looks like I'll be able to fish some of these out through the side. And then the big major wiring harness is what connects in the very back, as you can see right there. It's getting closer, but there's the front end. All right, here it is. As you can tell, I got the wiring harness off the frame, but it's still mostly connected back here. And that's just because I still have to undo some of the connections that are kind of down low. And one of them runs all the way back up to the headlight bucket. So I want to do that as an individual wire, and I want to be able to pull it. But once I do that, I should be able to just literally pull it right out from this area right here. It's actually pretty much done. But as you can tell here, I got the speedometer and the tack off. Bunch of connections that are obviously visible here that were connected near the top clamp, connected to the 2 turn signals. And then I got my hand controls on still with that all connected directly to the headlight bucket. So as you can tell here, big housing for all the wires that come into the back of the headlight. Yeah, mostly tracking it little by little with some tape so that I know where it all goes and what's what. And next thing that I want to do is actually remove the sprocket cover here and then remove the rear brake. So that's kind of the next thing that I plan to do. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about where I'm at right now. A lot has been done. I just need to kind of order some parts, I think, next, and then prepare to pull the motor completely out, which will require just some planning on my end so that I know exactly where I'm going to put it. I'm rambling now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like watching these types of videos, if you want to see the progress as I continue this chop, subscribe to the channel, like this video, add a comment down below. If you have any suggestions on things to do next or how to approach this, feel free to add some in the comments. I definitely engage with folks down there. I'm by no means an expert. I kind of have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm following videos on YouTube. I'm looking at resources online. So a lot of fun, a lot of interesting components that I'm kind of exploring and learning about as I go along, reading up on stuff. Obviously, I'm not the greatest resource. I'm not explaining every little detail to you all, but I just want to show what it's like for an average guy in a garage with just a bunch of hand tools, mostly kind of the basic Husky tools to do something like this in case you wanted to approach a project like this yourself. This is definitely doable so far. I haven't felt super overwhelmed, but I definitely feel like there's a lot coming. So consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.